in charge tonight of handing the mic to Palmisano. She's going to chime in. After Sam scores.
I am not Johnny. There's my gas.
Is that Steigerwald? How did Johnny not get that? It's Steiger? I thought it was Steiger. Dude, she's a dimer. 42 assists. That's nuts.
And now, sending it over to the one and only Melissa Palmisano. Palmy, what do you have to say about the girls' performance tonight?
It was terrible.
Palmy, she's a teacher of few words, but let me tell you, her impact, it is speechless.
Sam Klein should have scored more.
Mrs. Palmisano, you know, I'll give you my foul sheet. We can talk about fouls.
No, I don't think she wants to be on the broadcast.
No, she doesn't.
Nope, we're not doing that either. Slashing. I'll talk about slashing.
There you go.
When Sam Klein decks someone.
I actually did tell her to take someone out of the knees. It was not really a real suggestion for those of you that don't know me. It was just me being
Just as weird as possible.
as weird as possible.
Take the I like your coat. It's blue.
Stop.
This tattoo.
I know on my way home, see if he's working. Sam said, if I dance closet,
She kept telling me today, she was like, I want to give Palmy like my jersey or something, but I'm too small.
This was well, I said to her this morning when she came in, I was like, I almost sent you a message last night and said I would be something to wear. And like, then I realized it would fit in your clothes. And I was like,
She's 5'2", and you're 5'8". You know, taller than all.
Funny guy.
no, I did think too, but when I did think for you.
You should have heard our baseball broadcast.
Did you notice when we were fighting with lightsabers in her room that there was some kids recording us the whole time?
Oh, nice.
Oh, there was somebody recording the entire time.
Yeah,
more than one someone.
I turned around and I saw a kid like this. I was like, what the heck?
Yep.
Darn, man.
I feel like I get recorded more often in your room than I probably should.
Than anywhere else?
Yeah.
I'm concerned mildly about what's out there.
We do tend to do a lot.
It's true. I was sitting at my desk in the Jedi robe with a lightsaber at one point today, so.
With it on?
Oh,
I
yeah.
walked in
Can you
and
do
she's
that
wearing it, and I go,
No, because he took it away from me.
it's in my car if you really want
I wore
to
the
have
Easter
it.
Bunny costume in my classroom.
I walked in with it on,
I got it.
hoping you were there, and you weren't, so I just sat in your chair and waited.
You're gonna see entertainment. Joey and I, our book cover, my group's book cover. It's Joey as Citro, holding me as Ben over his shoulder.
Oh.
Is it totally the or is that for? So I get a text from Tom.
All caps.
and
Tune
they said,
in.
guys, in all caps.
Oh, it's
Remember
really
to bring the psych and wait to school.
What'd you say?
I didn't have his number saved, so it was a random number in my
Random
phone.
number, same
Sophie?
Cat.
No.
No.
Can I eat my pretzel first? 4K, that'd be why? Why?
I noticed to see people sit in the same section every time.
Are you making sure the stadium sounds good?
Yeah. You can like slightly hear what we're saying?
Simpson Gymnastics. Bro, imagine going to school in Kansas. I mean, Indiana's pretty far out. Kansas? That's crazy. Indiana's probably also cooler than Kansas. Could you agree? What? Kaylee Bristow? I don't know if you know that name.
It's like one of Sam's best friends.
That's a long way away.
I think isn't she originally from there? Like,
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
one side of her family is from there. I know she's a huge, like, Jayhawks fan.
She's also a massive.
Oh. No, go Bulldogs. Go Colts. Go Pacers.
Cookies.
Yes, Tony's leaving.
Yeah.
That's about it. Did you know Butler women's golf participates in the math conference? Because I had to do an assignment, like I would just get like read through an article GCU is on, like, they're
You
like,
don't have like a flag or anything or like a shirt?
I have nothing.
I attended.
Nothing. I have a degree
There you go.
that says my name and the school.
You're in a book somewhere that says you're an alumni.
I will probably get mailers at some point asking for money.
Yeah.
They come all the time from Portland and the UB. So
they're just hearing this.
I can't believe you didn't go to graduation like your friend asked.
I mean, she lived in South Dakota. She's like, I hope to meet you at graduation. Excuse me?
You see, I'm not going.
You know I live in New York. Like, I have no business in South Dakota.
Is South Dakota even a real state?
Oh, you did your whole teaching degree online?
No. I did my second master's degree.
Oh,
I
I'll
have 2
say.
masters, and my second one I did online.
No, because my student teacher for journalism, she's doing her whole degree online.
I had my student teacher last fall. She was doing her master's degree online for teaching, and her undergrad was in sustainable agriculture. So I'm just gonna do
Devin just called me.
Yeah, Miss Fisher's student teacher had to do like 18 weeks of student teaching because
I have lineup for FM.
she's doing it online. I guess that makes you don't get to do more.
Oh, and I have
That
lineup.
makes sense.
Starting lineup?
Yeah, anyone with a star. And it looks like not Pauline, it looks like Jody is starting. Or Tortora.
What? Okay, I'm sorry.
And Putman.
Yeah, Putman makes sense. Who is obviously? Hey, no. Why? She's Big East Lacrosse as a junior. Makes no sense. I'm not gonna question her, but
Which Big East?
Ava Cervino.
UConn.
And she's not. I mean,
Dude, what?
yes. I mean,
Because she's been playing. Guarantee it.
Prentice does lineups and soaps like Jim Baker. That's the best way I've said it, and I will live by it.
Alright, break. You want? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just mark down Stone as 2. God, can you give me numbers down the line for start? I got 2 and 6 so far.
2, 6, 11,
Hang on, there's 11. Alright.
Here,
13.
Pamasana, I'll give
Okay.
them a game selfie.
15,
Aaron, you're
Okay.
to see.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
But not fully.
Okay.
27.
Julius actually doesn't start either. I think I knew that. Who's our starters? I'll just mark them. Just say names.
Corey,
Yep.
Shay,
Okay.
Mira,
Okay.
Gabby Pauline,
11.
Sammy Buckets,
13.
Allie Cole,
16.
Prentice.
Kosick.
No.
It's the classic.
Prentice, 17.
I know. Kosick. Is she out
Oh.
starting?
No. Molly McGrath, Brooke Wallenschmelt, Marissa Doty, Gabby Putnam.
Just because he seems to.
All of them.
You wanna come in?
Nope.
It's easy to make my notes.
Oh yeah. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Let's do this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the North Star Network live here from Michael J. Bragman Stadium located at Cicero-North Syracuse High School. For tonight's matchup, we have the visiting Fayetteville-Manlius Lady Hornets taking on your home Lady North Stars and some girls Lax. Alongside of me is Robert Bateman, Johnny Lisi, Drew Mediasic, and Aaron Tarcunio on camera. Robert, what do you think FM has to do to sweep the North Stars this season?
I think the biggest thing is FM needs to just play their game. They've scored 110 goals this season. They're averaging 11 per game. The last time these two teams matched up, the game ended 11-10. And a big name that we have to mention tonight is Ava Angelo. She controlled the draws in that game, and she also scored plenty of goals. She has 54 goals coming into this game on the season, 96 draw controls. The biggest thing CNS can do is shut her down if they want to have a chance at winning this game.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself, Rob. Johnny, you spoke with both coaches before the game. What do they have to do? What are they thinking tonight?
Yeah, Coach Leah Tuck for FM. I asked her, how are you feeling coming into this game after already beating CNS? Coach Tuck said that they're feeling confident and excited. It was a very close game, and that they know CNS will give these Hornets a fight. And then I also asked her, how are you feeling at this point in the season? Because it's pretty much the crossroads the last half of the season. She said they're feeling good. They're getting to the tough part of the season, and all of the teams in our section are going through this, and they're focusing on their mental toughness to get them through not only this game, but the rest of the season.
Thank you, Johnny. The Hornets coming into this game 8-2 on the year, 5-1 in the SAC, 3-1 in the Metro. They placed second. with CNS sitting at 4th. FM is 3-1 on the road. The only road loss coming at West Genesee, 11-10.
Oh, and another big thing that I have to mention is who's going to step up for the North Stars tonight. The last time they played, like I mentioned earlier, the draws were a big problem. They weren't winning the ball much, but they were scoring goals. So if they can win draws and score the goals and get rid of those FM possessions, because quite frankly, this FM team isn't that solid on defense, that's how they can win this game. You want to get a lead early and then run away with it. We saw them lose that lead against South Jeff here on Saturday, and they ended up losing that game 8-7. So the biggest thing they can do for themselves is get up and find a way to stay up.
I can't agree with you anymore, Robert.
One thing that I think is obvious, too, here is that FM is a high-scoring team. They are outscoring in 10 games CNS 129 goals to 113.
And we will be right back after the national anthem.
Starting at midfield for the Lady Hornets, sophomore, number 6, Juju Junior, number 7, Sophie Leonard. Senior, number 18, Ava Angelo. Starting at defense for the Hornets, junior, number 2, Lexi Cameron. Junior, number 16, Annie Leonard. Junior, number 20, Molly McGinney. Sophomore, number 22, Addie Ben. And starting in goal for the Hornets, junior, number 27, Hannah Williamson. The Hornets are led by head coach Lee Cup and assisted by junior and Kenny Joshua. And now, North Star fans, please welcome our starting lineup. Starting at attack, senior number 2, Corey Ione. Junior number 7, Shay Bird. Sophomore number 17, Mackenzie Griffith. Freshman number 27, Gabby Hutton. Starting at midfield for the Lady North Stars, sophomore, number 11, Gabriella Pauline. Senior, number 14, Sam Klein. number 22, Brooke Molchinov. Starting at bench for the Lady North Stars, senior number 10, Mira Lieberman. Senior number 16, Allison Cole. Senior number 19, Molly McGrath. Sophomore number 24, Marissa Doty. And starting goal for our North Stars, junior number 40, Nicole Mira. Our North Stars are led by head coach Stephanie Prentice and assisted by Carly Cummings and 3 stars. Players to the sideline.
And we are back here after the national anthem and the starting lineups that we just heard for both sides. I think one of the biggest things CNS needs to do, they need to move the ball on offense and fire shots to the goalie. We saw them struggle to get shots up against South Jeff on Saturday. There's no lie about that.
Yeah, and we see a very different starting 11 than normal here tonight. I'm very curious how to see that impacts morale. You know, it could really be a big booster. It could drive girls to want to get their spots back. As a famous saying is, someone's always coming for your spot, and that's being shown here tonight with many younger players getting the start here in this big game. So hopefully that fuels the other players out there to step up and really make a change when they do get their minutes, because that's the biggest thing you can do for your team is just motivate them to want to play better and win games.
Yeah, it looks like Prentice moved some midfielders into that attack spot, such as Toya Ayanadi, and I want to say, Marissa Doty as well. Some of those midfielders sliding into the attack, switching things up as she has probably 2 of her best shooters in the lineup, Riley Kochik and Gabby Cicerelli, coming off the bench in this game.
Yeah, and I'm just curious to see how it works. You know, if the North Stars can come out and really shock FM, get up a goal or 2, that's the best thing they can do for themselves. You want to make FM hang their head. They give up 8 goals a game, and CNS gives up 11. Or no, excuse me, that's flipped. CNS gives up 8 goals per game. FM gives up 11. So if they can just score what they're expected to score, they can win this game.
No, this is something I'm very interested in seeing, Rob. Not to mention that size, not to say that size is the biggest factor in the draws, but it's a pretty big one if you look at that height difference between Angelo and Putman in there for the center.
Yeah, that's about 6'1", 6'2", against a solid 5'4", maybe 5'5". So the height difference is definitely there, and Ava Angelo already is very dominant when it comes to draws. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out.
I think wing play is going to be the biggest factor in the North Stars gaining draw control today, as Angelo takes that one with ease from Putman, and the Hornets are coming off early already.
Yeah, and right there, that's just a height advantage. Like we said, there's no way Putnam's going to get her stick up to that.
Caliandro swings to Leonard. Baldwin over to Reyna. Coming around X is Steigerwald. She's picked up by McGrath.
Right after Putman loses the draw, she comes off the field, and Shea Firth comes in. Look for Shea Firth to make a big impact.
Caliandro fires. That one's over the right corner of the goal, and that's going to go out of bounds. FM will maintain possession.
Oh, and I've noticed multiple basketball players on this lineup. You have Ava Angelo. You have Cole Leandro. Both of them really big factors on that FM basketball team this year.
Yeah, a team that wasn't very skilled or did well this season in the Metro. But they hold their own in one of the games against CNS. I think CNS only won by 1 at FM. 3 key free throws coming in at the end from Lexa Kulikowski in that game. Caliandro has it. Screen set by Angelo. She takes it towards the middle. Fires one on X. Intercepted by Molly McGrath. North Stars might get their first offensive possession of the game here.
Molly McGrath committed to UAlbany. She actually grew up playing against Ava Angelo on the same team, going against each other quite often. So the two of them will be facing off here tonight. So we're seeing a childhood matchup finding its way to the field.
Sam Klein in a sea of green gets it over to Marissa Doty.
Now, guys, I spoke to Molly McGrath yesterday, and I said, you're coming off of a close loss against South Jeff. And I said, how do you rebound from that? She said, I think we're all using that as motivation. Obviously, we want to move past the loss, but keeping the feeling from the end of the game in the back of our minds and using that as a motivation to come out on top and have a different outcome against FM tonight.
Prentice coming around that right shoulder. Onyx fires. That one's knocked off. It looks like it'll stay with the North Stars. They're going to say Angelo was there, so it's actually going to go all the way towards the Hornets.
Oh, and for this Hornets offense, look for Cole Leandro to really move things around. But the other name, Melanie Steigerwald, 42 assists on the season. That's an outstanding number. That's a number that we usually see after 15, maybe 16 games played, not 10. So she really does find that open girl, and that's where a lot of their goals come from.
I mean, I bet she's got to be that main feeder, sort of like what Anthony Semino was last year for the boys lacrosse team, who's now at St. Bonaventure's. He would just feed every single offensive possession towards Cicerelli and other players like Blakeman as well. Some key attack on the North Stars offense this year.
Yeah, and she's committed to Niagara, another D1 program up near Buffalo. So she's almost running a very similar story to Anthony Semino.
Exactly, as Angelo gets away with that one. Flicks one over to Caliandro. That one contained by Leonard. Gets into Angelo. She's going to look. No, spins back to her left. That one fires and over the left-hand shoulder. Nicole Mira for the Hornets' first goal of the evening, making that 1-0 here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium.
And I like that CNS's defense is already talking things over before it gets any worse. You know, fix the problem early and then figure it out. I like that. Just quick communication. Talk about what went wrong and how they're going to fix it.
Sophia Nashi stepping off. Putman coming in to do the draw.
You know, Angelo's height not only has an effect here on faceoffs and lacrosse, but she was also the star of the FM women's basketball team, which led them pretty far into the sectional playoffs.
That's right. I want to say we had a doubleheader here at our CNS main gym for the playoffs. We had both the Hornets teams taking on our North Stars at home. Girls came away with the win in that one. The boys unfortunately lost. As Angelo and Putman once again in here for the draw. That one flicked towards Putman. She gets the stick control there, but Caliandro's there in front of first to take it away.
And that's a good draw from Putman, though. That's the best thing she can do against Ava Angelo. You can't let that ball pop straight up because she'll never win that. The height advantage is there for Angelo's side. What she needs to do is flick it to the side, just get a quick toss away from it. Don't let the ball go straight up. Let the other two girls on the draw with you go and get it. Draws are a three-person swing. It's not a 1v1. People tend to get that mixed up.
Yeah, much different than with the boys' face-offs is mostly a one-on-one thing, but with draws, it's a three-person game like you just mentioned. As North Stars picking up a stop there into the stick of Nicole Mira. I wouldn't be surprised if we might see someone like Tori Ionati or Brooke Molchanoff step in there for the draws. That pass fumbled by Doty, but recovered. She fumbles it again.
You know, one reason we could see Ionati in on the faceoffs is just her height. When she goes against Angelo, that height is pretty much evened out, and then it's just pretty much a 50-50 from there. I mean, and add a little skill in there, that's going to be a great draw if we see Ionati put in there instead of Putman.
Yeah, last year we mentioned that we might want to see someone like Ionati step in there, but we never did, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, right? I don't think Ionati stepped in last year against the Hornets.
I think she might have stepped in once or
Brooke
twice, but Brooke
Molchanoff with the
Molchanoff
spin
with a
move
beautiful
there.
goal. And that's what CNS needed. Now it's a tie game. They can build from this. You know, they struggled on the first draw, but their defense has looked solid even though they've given up a goal. So building from that, that's how they can win this game. You know, the defensive stops need to be there. And after that goal, they talked things over in their next defensive possession. It looked great. They won the ball back quickly. Nicole Muir started things off, and now they go score a quick goal.
Yeah, Rob, with this Hornets team, you can't even get down on the CNS defense for giving up a goal or so early on, I'd say, in this game. This Hornets team is putting up 13 goals a season, not only on the season, but also in the SCAC Metro. Like we've said multiple times on the broadcast, probably the toughest league in almost all of New York for girls lacrosse. So that is impressive. These Hornets score goals. So CNS being at just 1-1 right now with just under 20 minutes left in the first half is impressive, I'd say.
Yeah, no, in a matchup I'm very curious to see that we actually haven't seen yet is FM versus Beeville. They haven't played either of their games against them. They come in later May as CNS comes away with that draw, but it's bobbled.
Semino bobbled that one. That one's taken away by Annie Leonard. That one's taken away again. They got to get the scoop on this one. Molchanoff gets it.
That was a great job by the North Stars with the passing and getting right in and flustering Hornets goalie Hannah Williamson to get that beautiful goal.
And once again, that's how the North Stars need to win draws. Don't let it pop straight up. Let it go 3v3. That's where they have their numbers.
That's how we saw last year, too. They didn't have a great person to draw at all last year, but Molly Molchanoff was huge on the ground control for TNS. Prentice Onyx flips over to Tori Ionati on the outside. Flings it back to Brooke Molchanoff. Brooke going in on Caliandro. Spins back to her right hand. Looking for Doty and Sam Klein inside, excuse me. Unable to get it through.
And this is what's dangerous for CNS. This is how South Jeff really capitalized against them. These fast break offense, when you run the offense against CNS, since they play so slow, you can really catch them out.
Wide open shot, no good. Saved by Mira. Attempting shot there was Talbot Baldwin, the junior, looking to get her second goal there, but what a save from Mira in the one-on-one. That was impressive.
Beautiful save by Nicole Mira there, Owen.
We saw Nicole Mira have a really solid game against South Jeff, and she's picked up right where she left off with 2 really nice saves so far.
And one interesting thing I've been talking about lately with the girls lacrosse, the rules I'd say, is how much wiggle room they have with offsides. You can almost run the entire length of a field no matter what your position is in girls lacrosse. With boys, they have like probably 20 yards where each position has they can go. With girls, it's much different, which what we saw in the South Jeff game allowed them to just drain that entire basically last 10 minutes of the second half out. Which is why I almost think that's probably why CNS gets in trouble. They have the opportunity to put so many people up there on the offensive attack, but if they get out a fast break up, you really have no one back other than your 3 defenders that have to stay back.
Yeah, and CNS just with a sloppy turnover there, so now they're going to have to defend once again, but they have looked solid so far.
They're taking things slow here on X. Pauline almost intercepting that one. They get over to Annie Leonard. Now Talbot Baldwin. Over to Grace Reyna. Ava Angelo. They're really taking things slow here. But the middle is wide open. You might see a Hornet fly in there. Angelo going around the other side. Finds Caliandro inside, and that's exactly what they did.
That's a beautiful play right there. Caliandro just being able to post up on the corner of the crease there. There's nothing you can really do because in girls lacrosse you can't go in the crease. So all she has to do is get her position and just wait.
Yeah, it's almost an alley-oop play there. Caliandro just kept her stick up, caught it from Angelo, and dropped it right down for that Hornets goal. As North Star's got to get better rotations on that. They got to drop down quicker. And almost maybe when they see that play setting up, they got to drop into somewhat more of a zone, not just strict man-to-man tight.
Yeah, and CNS just needs to make sure they're not giving FM too many offensive possessions. Like we saw with the last time they had the ball, it was just a silly turnover. They throw it out of bounds, and then they have to go to defend again. It's really tiring to defend because you're reacting to the offense. So if you let FM just sit on this offense the whole game, they can really just run the whole pace of play.
Yeah, and they can also tire you out much quicker or almost slow you down too.
That is Caliandro, the sophomore's 32nd goal on the season in 10 games.
Putman comes away with that one. She's got to get out of trouble here, though. She will.
And CNS looking much more comfortable on the draw because, like I've said multiple times, they're going 3v3. FM hasn't had to do that at all this season because Ava Angelo just wins every single draw. She has 96 coming into the game, and she already has 2 extra today. But CNS has made it so there's more than just Ava Angelo to go up against, and they've benefited from it.
Brooke Molchanoff spinning back to her right hand. Over to Shea Firth. Now Tori Iannotti. Gets to Prentice on the backside of X. Prentice is going to looking for Iannotti there. That ball tipped away, whistle blown. And it's to go to the Hornets. Hornets coming the other way now, just across half field. That pass intercepted by Molly McGrath. Read that one like a book.
And Molly McGrath can go here. She can really spring the CNS offense, as we see her doing right now. Just taking her space. If no defender's going to step up, why not?
Iannotti, she's going to fire, and that one's off the ground and in. North Stars tie it back up at 2 apiece.
And that is beautiful for Molly McGrath. She just basically runs 40 yards of the field, waits for a defender to step up. Once the defender does, Tori Iannotti's just standing in the middle of the goal, and right there, that's one you just can't miss.
I think that's the biggest thing. If the North Stars are going to give up Hornets fast breaks, they got to earn the fast breaks right back, which we saw them do there. Molly McGrath taking it herself instead of taking things slow and passing it up the midfield. We know she's got wheels. She used those wheels and went all the way up.
And that's one way that teams that might not be matched up as far as, talent can win games. They go for those fast break offense. They try to beat you on the counter. We see it in basketball all the time with bad teams that just sit in on defense and they wait to just fast break and beat teams off quick runs. And that's what CNS does right there. And that's how they can find success in this game. missing a lot of very strong players, having some injuries right now. You're starting a new lineup, but so far they've looked very, very solid.
I mentioned Molly McGrath's wheels, Rob, so I got to ask you, wheels or doors?
All right. I'm a big wheels guy. I think there are more wheels out there, but I'm not 100% sure. You know, I look in this room, I see a lot of wheels and only one door.
Yeah, we got, what, 5 or 4 wheels on our chairs? That's 10 apiece. I only see one door. So I think wheels are the factor.
I haven't
CNS
heard
wins
that
the draw there.
discussion in a long time.
CNS wins the draw, but they do turn it over quickly, so now FM can spring on the attack.
As Shea Firth, they get into a double team here. They bump her down. Whistle's going to be blown as she got a little blindsided there.
Yeah, I think she's lucky not to get a yellow card there. That looked almost like a cross-check
That
that
would
we
have
see
been
in boys lacrosse.
that would have been a yellow card on Saturday with the officials, how touchy they were in this game. Even though last week was official appreciation week, but that game was a bit touchy.
It was, and I do kind of like to see games that the ref isn't so whistle-happy. And Saturday, it really did slow down the game a lot. I mean, we saw probably a record number of 8 meters given to both teams, whereas these refs are letting it play more, and it really lets the game be more exciting.
Yeah, exactly. I know Prentice and her girls, they love to play physical. So in that game, they really struggled. And South Jeff, another team that's super physical. Both sides somewhat struggled in that game, only putting up 15 goals combined.
And Nicole Mira, another beautiful save, getting to that one from Coliardo.
You know, one thing I've noticed about these Lady North Stars, especially in this game, they've had a much stronger, more aggressive start than they did against South Jefferson for sure.
And I think a lot of that can go to the change in lineup. You know, girls can get comfortable after a while when you get the same thing over and over and you feel like your starting spot's guaranteed. But with a lot of new girls getting the field tonight and the start, I think it's really driven CNS to step up their game.
Caliandro splits the double team. She's got another jersey picking her up here. She's going to go across X to Steigerwald.
Nicole Mira has looked pretty solid in goal for the North Stars early this evening. Even though she's given up 2 goals, she's made it back with, I would pretty much say, 3 solid saves.
Whistle blown. Can't tell what the call is coming from here.
I do believe it's an offside, so FM will get a 12-meter here. Not really in a position to shoot, though.
But Nicole Mira is ready with that stick in case a shot is fired. You're going to go in, swing that pass, incomplete. Pauline looks like she's there to scoop it up, and she is. As she is pushed there, so it's going to keep going with CNS.
Great hustle by Ella Pauline to get that ball.
I don't know why Pauline just passed that there. It looks like she had the open midfield. As someone who plays field hockey, she has wheels too.
Yeah, but Mira Lieberman really spreading the field. That one is bobbled by Allie Cole. Kept in by FM, and they're going to keep it. And now they're on the attack again. Up and down. That's really what this game has been so far, just back and forward.
Yeah, there hasn't really been a lot of set offensive goals. I think, there has been one from FM, but both sides really just taking quicker shots and quicker plays on the field, I'd say. It's Caliandro, again, taking things slow. She's picked up by Iannotti. And Robert Bateman said, "Let there be light."
I saw the field lights come on, and I was looking at my paper, and I said, you know, that'd be pretty nice to have right now, so I had to flip that on.
It's definitely windy here. Had some few sprinkles pregame when I was down on the field, but definitely windy, guys.
And it was a great poke away by Tori Iannotti and Molly McGrath able to stretch the field. Now it's Gabby Cicerelli with it.
She passes it up over to Sophia Neshi, who's going around X. Looks like she'll probably swing this one to Firth. She does. Not Iannotti, now Brooke Malchinoff. Looks like CNS will probably set something up here.
Yeah, and you saw Brooke Malchinoff say slow down. I kind of like that. This is where CNS offense does run best. They have defended a lot, so, you know, why not take some time? Get a breather.
Cicerelli coming around X. Going to go back around the other side. Kicks to Neshi. They're going to trade places. As Neshi fires one through the legs of Hannah Williamson. Sophia Neshi lining that one up for a 7th goal on the season and taking that North Stars lead, their first lead of the night.
Yeah, and what a massive goal for Neshi right there. She's a freshman, but she has made a great contribution. Like you said, 7 goals on the season as a freshman. That's very impressive.
Yeah, she's taking a big role tonight as well. Not getting a starting spot, but playing a lot of crucial minutes. Any minute in this game is going to be crucial. North Stars need a win here. They're sitting at 500 on the season, 1-3 in the Metro. They need a win. They need a league win here.
Yeah, they really do need a league win. Like you said, 1-3 in the Metro. That's not what you want to see, especially out of a team that's been projected to be one of the best teams out there.
Looks like our PA guy over there finally decided to show up, Daryl White. We're wondering where he was, Rob.
We were wondering where Daryl was before the game. We are glad to see him now. You know, he's kind of someone we can't do without. Sometimes he just has the information we really need.
Yeah, we had to get our own pronunciations in starting lineups today. We never do that.
That's true. We never do that. And CNS does take a timeout, even though they're up 3-2. I like it. You know, take things over, talk about what's good, fix what's bad, and they can go from here. You know, this is the best time to take a timeout because the girls are still motivated and positive. You don't want to take a timeout when you're down big because that can be very negative and it doesn't really benefit a team.
Robert, you said doo-doo. It's one of those calls.
All right, grow up.
Yeah, I need to grow up. You dropped dad jokes at least 5 times.
So back to the
Hey,
game.
man, a dad joke's always solid. Johnny, take it away. Fix this mess, man.
That was a great goal by Neshi, and great job by the North Stars offense to slow it down. Like you guys said, that's how they work best. The North Stars are matched up with this very tough FM team. They have 3 D1 college commits. Ava Angelo is committed to the legendary Johns Hopkins program. Melanie Steigerwald is committed to Niagara. Elrose Hanlon is committed to Colgate, and Tedeschi is committed to Lemoyne. So definitely a tough FM team. They're 8-2, and this is definitely a must-win game for the North Stars, and they have looked pretty solid. They didn't come out as well against South Jeff on Saturday, but they're definitely coming out better than they did.
Yeah, this is a huge thing for the North Stars. Against South Jeff in almost every game we've seen here on the North Star Network this season, the North Stars started off slow. They're not starting off slow tonight compared to their competition, which allowed them to keep the lead in this game. Like with South Jeff, they started slow, they got it picked up, and then they closed slow. You can't do that. You got to start, middle, and finish quickly.
There you go. You struggled to get that one out, pal.
I don't know what word to say.
But, yeah, you're completely right. You know, playing fast, that's what you want to do, and you don't want to get comfortable, especially in a game like this. CNS doesn't want to find themselves falling behind. You know, they lost their last 2 games coming into this one. That South Jeff game, it looked like they were going to win. They were up 3 goals at one point and then ended up losing 8-7. So this draw is massive because they want to get on offense again. You want to keep scoring. Lacrosse is the one game where you can score a goal and get the ball back. We mention it all the time, but it is true, and it's one of those things you have to mention because it's such a pivotal point of the game.
I mean, technically in football you can do that.
And Brooke Malchinoff comes away with another draw.
No comment there, Rob?
No comment there. We're watching lacrosse, pal.
We're on a football field.
Fair enough.
As Schaefer has it on that right wing, kicks over to Sophia Neshi going around X. Gets to Gabby Cicerelli. She's got some power behind that stick.
And so does her brother Mason on the varsity team. Whenever either of them shoots that ball, it's like, again, going back to baseball, we want to see the exit velocity on those shots.
Mentioning all the sports today, and here in this broadcast, not so much even lacrosse, is everything.
I mean, we're everything kind of people. We call a lot of sports, so make sure to tune into the North Star Network, and most likely we have whatever high school sport you're looking for.
Except swimming. We can't get there.
Yeah, I mean, the pool and the equipment, that wouldn't be good.
We don't even have a
good
pool.
fit. We don't have a pool. You're right. Hey, 2026, they're building one.
As Malchinoff fires one. What a feed there from Sophia Neshi. That was impressive stuff from the North Stars offense. The Neshi to Cicerelli for the goal. I think that's Neshi's second or third assist just tonight.
Yeah, Neshi stepping into the starting spot as a freshman, and she has really stepped up her game. I mean, a goal, that might be her second or third assist. She's really proved why she should be out there, and that's something you love to see. You know, we've talked about the youth before and how this CNS team in 2 or 3 years is going to be possibly one of the best in the state. And seeing a freshman like that step up on varsity, that's very great to see.
I guess, Rob, something about those Neshis just drop dimes.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney Neshi on basketball, one of the best passers we've seen in the North Stars program recently. And then her sister, or no, cousin. We determined it was a cousin. That is true. Coming out here, and she's also dropping dimes.
North Stars have the 4-2 lead with 11:41 left to go in this first half. Another draw win here from Putman or from those outside wings will be crucial, as that one's right in the stick of Caliandro. She's able to box Schaefer out there, and they're going to call the whistle on first, so it's going to be a quick reset.
And Owen, that's the only one problem with going to 3v3 on those draws. It is very hard to win them because the ball really does need to fall your way. It was falling CNS's way. That time it falls FM's way, and now they get a chance to get themselves back in this game.
They get over to Caliandro. She's picked up by Ayanati. Marissa Doty's doing a great job of keeping Angelo in check, I'd say.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Doty pick up Angelo. I would have assumed it'd be McGrath. You know, she's the best or one of the best defenders on the CNS team. I'd also put Sam Klein in that list. So seeing Doty pick up Angelo was very surprising, but Steigerwald's been almost completely shut out of this game by McGrath. So I think it's the right choice.
As Angelo turns, she fires, and that one's in the goal to bring the Hornets deficit just to 1.
Yeah, and that's the broadcaster's curse right there. We were just complimenting Doty, and right there, there's really nothing you can do when you're playing someone who's 6'1", 6'2", and they can wrap their stick around. I mean, that's very hard to block unless you have someone's help.
I mean, I think the reasoning for McGrath on Steigerwald is sort of what we saw with, I hate to bring back to last year's boys lacrosse season, but it's true. Like we saw with Cimino and Cicerelli, you would see the better player stick with Cimino, the better pull for whatever team they're playing, because he's that feeder. You take away the feeder, you make the girl one-on-one, her life does probably get a lot harder. Like we see here, Steigerwald's got 42 assists, and Angelo has 54 goals. I bet you 30 of those assists from Steigerwald are to Angelo goals.
Yeah, and I think you're completely right, and this draw is going to be a massive point because FM's got their feet back under them. You know, we saw CNS get up 2 goals. Now they got to rein themselves back in. You can get excited, but you can't get too excited because FM will always be there. The Hornets will still sting.
I like that one. We can't get comfortable. North Stars cannot get comfortable. As if we don't have Angelo in there for the draw, as she's actually been getting somewhat shut down. I wouldn't say shut down, but Putman's giving her a run for her money.
Yeah, and that one's poked away. I think it will go to FM again, as it does.
As maybe the height difference, because there is a certain way the sticks have to be set for a draw, so maybe that height difference does give Angelo difficulties. Now she loses control of that one. She was hit, so they're going to get the whistle blown. She might get a shot from the 12 here. They're going to set her up around the 20. I can't tell.
I think that will be from the 12. I would be surprised if they have to go all the way back. They do. It's quite surprising there. But now CNS can run something again. And their past 3 set plays on offense have worked out well. So why not? They have 2 goals from those past 3 attacks. Things are looking good for CNS.
And I actually don't hate the FM foul there, whatever the term is for that. Is they just got the whistle blown because the CNS had a fast break there. Now she recovered it, so when she got hit, whistle blown, let the FM defense reset, which is actually really smart.
Yeah, and that's something we do in soccer a lot too. On those breakaways, sometimes it's easier just to foul before they get near the goal. And even if you do end up with a yellow card, it's better than giving them a wide open shot.
You would see it a lot in basketball, but they eventually implemented a foul called the clear path foul, where if someone fouls you, as Gabby Cicerelli, I'll get back there in a minute, fires that one, bringing North Stars back up 5-3.
And we talked about this. We were talking about exit velocity because Drew, our resident baseball nerd, you know, he loves to talk about baseball. And we were talking about exit velocity, but wow, that one came off hot. Gabby Cicerelli, Mason Cicerelli, we talk about that family all the time. They can grip and rip the ball, Owen.
Yeah, and so back to that, like in basketball, like if you get fouled when you're on a fast break, you get 2 free throws and ball. So they're trying to stop you from just letting someone or just fouling someone to get the defense back, which is good.
I think the baseball nerds say that was a solid exit velo. That was almost like a Giancarlo Stanton home run, which are hard to come by now. But, you know.
What's faster, DeGrom's fastball or Gabby Cicerelli's sidearm shot? I think we need a radar gun.
That would actually be quite fun to get Mr. Bednarski down there with a radar gun, just clocking some times. I think that'd be quite fun to have.
I think it might be
Shea first
Cicerelli.
decks Angelo, but there's no whistle blown. Caliandro wide open. Now Doty steps in front of her. She fires. That one's saved by Nicole Mira.
Nicole Mira has been extremely impressive these past 2 games. I mean, we saw her struggle at the start of the season, but she has figured herself out. And, I mean, last game she was an absolute lockdown. It was almost like we were watching goalie wars with that South Jeff goalie and Nicole Mira going back and forward, making amazing saves. And now she's out here tonight, and she's a big reason why CNS is up in this game because FM has had more attacks, but Nicole Mira has just been a brick wall.
Looks like we have some baseball players here coming from their game today. I want to say they had West Genesee. I wonder how that one went, Rob. You hear anything?
I did not hear anything, but I'm sure we can swing down at halftime and check out. Or, Owen, you can always just check Twitter. Most of the schools around here do like to post the final scores of their games.
Let's check West Genesee here.
Now it's Neshi at the X. She rolls around the crease. She fires low. That one's a save, and it goes out the back of the end zone, so Brooke Molchernoff will have it. Brooke kicks things off. She's going to work from the X. Met by Coliardo.
As an hour ago, West Genny Athletics tweeted that heading to the 7th, they were down 1-0 against CNS.
And Brooke Molchernoff cuts in front of the crease. She's able to put that one away. I think, dimed by Neshi again. So Sophia Neshi really proving herself in this offense. And to be quite honest, I think she can fill a role that CNS is desperately needed as they find themselves up 3 goals with 8:07 left on the clock.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest factors in boys or girls lacrosse, if you have a great feeder, your offense is going to run. Right now, CNS, they found their draw person in Putman. They found their feeder in Neshi. This team is slowly starting to build itself together. Like we saw their girls basketball team, too. When they first played Bishop Ludden the first game, we're like, oh, this won't be a great season for them. They went to the state semis. Yeah, state semis and lost to Baldwin High School of Section 1, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe it was 1. We see FM take a timeout here. They're down 3. This is the biggest lead in the game. CNS having it. So FM definitely does need to talk things over. You know, their defense just hasn't looked all there. CNS has been able to really cut in front of the crease and work. So I like the timeout. You know, you got to talk things over and fix your problems because, quite frankly, this isn't an FM team that we ever see score less than 3 goals.
Yeah, Rob, and in the past few games, we've really been talking about how the North Stars have lost their past few games because they are playing how the other team wants them to play. And I think in this game, the girls, you know, they took their loss against South Jefferson, talked it over, went to practice this week, and they're not playing how FM wants them to play. They have Coliandro and Angelo on FM as a pair. CNS is coming right back with that Neshi Molchanoff pair right in this game.
Got to check in here for the boys lacrosse game. They're up 9-3 with 1:38 left to go in the first half. If North Stars sweep the Hornets tonight, that'd be impressive and huge for both sides as they need some league wins going into sectionals.
Oh, and I got to be honest, I'm very surprised that CNS boys team is up that much because FM, let's be honest, they're one of the best teams historically around for boys lacrosse. I mean, last year, I don't want to be that guy, but they destroyed CNS both times they played them.
Oh, last year, I think if FM didn't drop to Class B last season, Jenny joined them this year, the FM Baldwinsville Sectional Championship last year would have been a fun one to watch.
That would have been a very fun one to watch, but CNS boys lacrosse, like you said, up 9-3. They're really cruising right now as it is the draw time again.
We see I have a new face now. We have Molchanoff. Wonder why both sides switching things up.
That was Molchanoff's 3rd goal of the game this evening, so Molchanoff definitely looking hot early in this first half.
And it's somehow Gabby Putnam, she comes off from the middle, but she's able to come away with it, and now Molchanoff has it, and Sam Klein's going to step up with a lot of room to work.
I'd like to see a goal here tonight from Sammy Buckets, our good pal. As she was not fond that I had Sammy Buckets written down on our roster for the game against South Jeff on Saturday.
Yeah, I think she hopes that sooner or later it will die out.
Never.
And you love to just give that thing CPR and not let it go.
Nope. Never.
Shay Firth can work now. She's got a really quick first step, so I wouldn't be surprised if she cuts inside. That one's bobbled. FM comes away with it. And they're going to look to get on the fast break again, but Shay Firth is hot in pursuit.
Shay Firth playing some of that lockdown defense like we saw her brother play the last few years for CNS. Nolan Firth off at Hobart. William Smith now playing some D1 lax.
Oh, and imagine the backyard battles they would have had. Shay Firth being an attacker, Nolan being a defender. The two of them definitely had to go at it in the backyard.
Oh, I would assume. I mean, I could only assume. I've never seen them in the backyard, but.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong, but I'm sure those matchups would have been great.
We can go grab Pat or Leslie Firth, throw the headset on them, see if they got any words to say about the backyard at the Firth household.
I don't think they'd like that, but Gabby Putnam with a great steal. She can spring things forward.
Oh, I'm sure they'd hop on.
And now it's Volchanoff crossing half field. CNS with another fast break. It's 4v4 right now. Volchanoff cuts inside. She's met by 3 Hornets.
Finds Gabby Cicerelli right near the goal, wide open. Fires one, and what a shot from Gabby Cicerelli. That's an and one in basketball, as North Stars now leads 7-3 on the Hornets.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised they didn't call her in the crease on that one, but she gets away with it, and a nice finish. CNS finds himself up 7-3. They're only 3 goals away from the goal tally they had the last time they played FM.
I think the reason that they didn't call Cicerelli in the crease was because she jumped to shoot that one to get her stick around Williamson, and then she got basically her legs were taken out from underneath her.
Yeah, hopefully her knees are okay. You know, she's had ACL problems in the past.
Don't mention the knees, Rob. Don't mention the knees. She's finally playing. The braces aren't even on. Just let her play. Don't jinx it, which we just did.
Hey, man, you mentioned the knees last broadcast.
Yeah, but I mentioned how she's recovered. I didn't mention how they were bad.
I mean, they are bad,
but I
let's
didn't.
be honest.
So CNS has just
You're
matched
muted.
their goal total from last game against South Jeff. They scored 7 last game against South Jeff. They've scored 7, and it's not even halftime. So the North Stars coming out hot very early, especially Molchanoff and Neshi.
Pubin makes a move, looking for someone inside. He's going to go Neshi on X.
And Owen, I think a lot of this stems from CNS has just been dominant on the draws. We talked to the girls before the game, and they said they didn't really know who would step up and take them. And clearly they've done well with this 3v3 approach.
Yeah, I think that's where CNS thrives best on the draws in recent years, just having them basically work the 3v3, not the 1v1 like we've already said, which we're going to run that faucet dry quickly tonight, mention the 3v3s on the draw.
Yeah, I feel like we tend to run a lot of faucets dry when CNS does well because usually where they end up winning games is stems from one thing. And
Caliandro had a wide open shot there, whistle blown, can't see what it was. Looks like she missed it.
I think that one might have been over the head. Yeah, it is. The ref does signal, so it will be an 8-meter for her. Curious to see where she lines up. Doesn't elect to go down the center. Interesting, but she is on her strong hand, so I'd expect a shot.
They're going to rotate Ionati over and Pauline over to the corner, so maybe have Ionati and McGrath crash. They will. She fires in over the left-hand shoulder of Nicole Mira. Going to deficit to just 3 for the Hornets. We got 5:04 left here in the first half at Michael J. Bragman Stadium.
Yeah, 7-4 the score, and that's actually the first 8-meter we've seen tonight. Nicole Mira unlucky to not save it. Coliardo does a great job at finishing, though. So very curious to see what will happen now that CNS finds themselves giving up a goal. Oh, and I am curious why you turned our volume all the way up.
It's low. Our levels are low.
Our levels are low, but I do feel like I'm screaming into our ears.
Well, because the gain's high. You got to lower that.
You guys are dialed in, I guess.
Robert's not. I am.
I think we're dialed. It's just what type of dialed do you want to be, Owen?
You know, the North Stars really need to keep this up. They're 1-3 so far in the SCAC Metro, 250 win percentage, and they're 4th. And FM's second, knocking off FM, who's just behind Baldwinsville, will be a massive statement win for the North Stars.
As here comes the Hornets the other way, that draw won by Angelo. Get it to Steigerwald on X.
Speaking of Baldwinsville suffered their first loss of the season on Saturday to Pittsford Sutherland, 6-4. Yes, I said 6-4. The Baldwinsville Bees were held to 4 goals. Massive loss to Pittsford Sutherland for Baldwinsville.
Is that out of Rochester?
That is out of Rochester. Pittsford, right by Nazareth College and also St. John Fisher.
CNS Junior, you mean?
CNS Junior, yeah. A lot of people going to St. John Fisher and Nazareth this year from CNS. As Brooke Molchanoff gets a steal there, and she's got the wheels to go. She crosses the 50, the 40, fires up to Gabby Putnam. Putnam bobbles, and she gets it.
Firth over to Cicerelli. She's going to fire one right over the stick of Hannah Williamson. And now Gabby Cicerelli is on fire tonight. The North Stars offense is alive.
Yeah, that's some beautiful fast break offense right there from the North Stars. They just put the pedal to the metal, and they go. And they're able to get that one and just run with it. Now it's 8-4, 4 minutes left. CNS just has a ton of momentum this game, and they've been able to build off of it.
I think that it's safe to say that Cicerelli is back to her I mean, in this warmer weather that we're seeing now, especially with her knee injury, it's worse in colder conditions. It's a nice, humid sort of day out here today. So Prentice put her in, and it looks like she's getting back to her old self last year where she was dominating Section 3 women's lacrosse.
North Stars baseball running it up in Section 3 this year. They've beaten probably everyone's had the two best preseason teams, West Genesee and Bevo, both one apiece, holding those powerhouses scoreless. Impressive season. Now, I think CNS is now first in, if you're not mistaken. Jenny will still be one. CNS has 2 losses, but CNS will be just behind them at 2.
Yeah, I believe you're right. And the only team CNS has ever really seemed to struggle against is FM. Is Gabby Putnam comes away with another draw, and now it's Neshi working with it. I'd expect her to start, working from the X for the rest of this game because she's been dropping dimes left and right.
Yeah, she can't necessarily go off X like we've seen Francesca Tortora do for CNS, but she can feed from X like we saw Anthony Smino do. So either way, that North Stars offense is going to be successful with someone on X. She feeds Cicerelli. She's going to spin, fires one off the ground, and that one's recovered there by Williamson. As it's poked away by Molchnoff, a whistle's blown. It's going to go the other way to the Hornets.
The ref didn't signal what that was called for. I'm a little curious because it didn't look like it was over the head, but it will be FM ball. But she is met very quickly by multiple CNS defenders, and a foot race with Gabby Putnam is not somewhere I'd want to be, Owen.
Yeah, Gabby Putman, the Putman sisters, probably the fastest family we've ever seen come through CNS. I can't think of anyone faster that we had come through here.
I don't even know if faster is the right word, but the most endurance for sure.
Well, yeah, long distance fast, I'd say. But I'm sure you put them in a short foot race, they'll still burn you.
Yeah, they still will. I mean, both of them very quick on their feet. And FM really struggling to get this one over. So they finally do. It's number 16 with it. That would be, sorry, FM has a weird roster. Their numbers are not where they normally are. That was Ann Leonard, though.
I'm seeing a weird scoring pattern here. CNS will score 3, FM will score 1, and then CNS will go on another 3-goal run. I wonder if they'll continue that. But CNS is definitely outshooting FM and getting much better shots on goal.
Hornets had a shot from the 12. They're going to elect to go around Reyna over to Steigerwald on X. Comes away. Now they're having Doty stick with Steigerwald. We got under 2 minutes left in this first half. North Stars leading 8-4 to the Hornets due on probably what could be their last offensive possession of the half. They need a capitalization here to go into halftime strong. Angelo on X going iso ball. Fikes, that one's way right of the goalpost. They're going to call that North Star possession, and that was a great defensive stand. I think they're lucky Angelo got that one a little outside, though.
Yeah, I don't like CNS's approach to defending Angelo there. They just let her work freely from the X and try to pick her up on the crease. But as you saw, she just throws a fake shot, takes a step to the side, and she has a wide-open shot. So I don't think that's the way to defend her here tonight.
I mean, that was basically an up and under move. Lacrosse and basketball are fairly similar fundamentally the way the game is played, other than obviously one's with a stick and ball on a field, one's with a 29.5-inch ball on a court. But all the movements and defensive plays and almost offensive plays are the exact same. So I think that little up and under from Angelo is something that we've seen CNS basketball struggle with this year as well. Trying to go that number up and under. So funny enough, the girls lacrosse team struggled as well. As Putman hits down hard inside. Whistle's blown. They're going to give it back to the Hornets going the other way.
You know, CNS has just dominated not only defensively, but on their attack, too. You cannot stop these Lady North Stars on their attack tonight.
As Robert just pointed out to me, we have 2 number 15s on the roster. I see a number 7 out there who's not on the roster. So we'll be sure at halftime to figure out who's wearing 7 and who's wearing 15.
Now Brooke Molchnoff with a lot of room to work, but she is met by the Hornets as she tries to get inside.
Yeah, that Hornets nest is not easy to penetrate if it's not one-on-one. As Neshi scoops that one back up. Coming around, actually going to look to feed Cicerelli here. They had her. Just a little late. We've got 4 seconds. Neshi is going to give it to Putman. Putman goes inside, spins, loses control of it, fires to Neshi. That pass by, but I think those Lady North Stars were just unfamiliar with how much time they really had left in that first half.
And Owen, what I was surprised to see there on that last attack is Tori Ionati actually stayed back on defense with Ava Angelo instead of going up on offense like we normally see her do. She is one of the better scorers for this CNS team, having 10 goals this season. So I'm curious to see if that's a switch so they can solidify their defense. But 8-4 is your score. CNS does find themselves up big at half. So I'm very curious to see what they have seen themselves doing well and what they want to criticize themselves on, and if they will decide to change anything at half.
You shouldn't change anything. You're up 8-4 right now, playing probably the best lacrosse we've seen them play almost all season. So it's solid at what they are doing. They're doing great with the 3-on-3 draw control, running that well dry. But also they're moving great. The ball movement on offense is spectacular.
Yeah, and Owen, Johnny, Drew, anything you want to add before we take a break?
It's been a balanced attack for the North Stars. We've obviously spotlighted Neshi with the amazing assist so far. We've had Molchanov, who has an early hat trick. So does Gabby Cicerelli, who has looked hot early on. This North Stars team is firing on all cylinders, and it is great to see after that disappointing loss against South Jeff on Saturday. It's good to see them back and hot.
Yeah, win tonight for the North Stars would probably be their biggest one. As I want to say we got Liverpool for them on Thursday. Are they Thursday or Friday? I know the boys are home Friday with Liverpool.
I do believe it's Thursday for Liverpool for girls lacrosse. Drew, anything you want to add before we take a break here?
Yeah, I just want to say CNS, like Johnny said, they're not only balanced on the attack, they're balanced overall. Their defense is spectacular. It's hard for FM to find any sort of movement on their attack, or at least a lot of a movement on their attack that we should be expecting from them because of CNS's defensive efforts. But not only that, their attack is great. They're causing FM and their attack to create so many turnovers that they can use on their attack. We've got some speed on this team. It's looking really, really well for the Lady North Stars right now.
Thank you, Drew and Johnny. Robert, any last touches you want to add before we send us to halftime?
I would just like to see FM, switch up their defensive tactics. They give up 11 goals per game, and they've already given up 8. So they just need to switch up something. I think they need to find a way to slow down Sophia Neshi because, quite frankly, I think she's been the biggest tool CNS has had on offense tonight, and she's been met by usually a midfielder, not an actual defender. So I think they need to switch a primary defender onto Neshi. That way she can't just work from the X as much as she's been able to.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure who the Hornets, who they say is their best defender, but because CNS really doesn't have one girl killing you goal-scoring-wise. Obviously, Molchanov's going to get hers, and the same with Cicerelli and all the others. But you don't want to have one girl lighting you up for 5 of the 8. You have Neshi probably lighting up with 5 of the 8, assisted on 5 of the 8 goals. North Stars don't have a single goal tonight, if I'm not mistaken, that's unassisted.
Yeah, I believe you're right. They've worked the ball around this FM defense, and that's where they're finding their success. Whereas FM, they like to go more of an ISO offense where they give the ball to a girl and let her work.
As we saw the North Stars stick who I'd say our best defender is Molly McGrath on FM's feeder, I think they've got to stick whoever their best defender is on Neshi, our feeder, and see what that does to CNS and Prentice's offense.
I'd agree, and make sure to stay tuned because this game is all but over. 25 minutes left to play. 8-4 is your score. CNS with the lead. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll be right back in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was just going to get one. I was just going to get Smith. But I don't know. I think my main.
Who? Who whipped the water bottle?
I don't know.
You saw that?
Punched it.
Was that a Bednarski that whipped it? I know she's here. Yeah. Very good.
How was it feeling Buffalo? You want me to go Buffalo?
Nah, the Asians to play. We should be live right now.
We should be.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
And we are back here live on the North Star Network for the second half of this intense Hornets-North Stars matchup. It doesn't look like it's intense on the scoreboard, but it's being played intense. North Stars are just edging FM in every little bit.
Yeah, and it looks like Brooke Molchanoff is going to step in for the draw again. We saw her have some success against Angelo, but we also saw Gabby Putnam have some success, or Putman, excuse me, have success. So I'm very curious to see why the change as FM does come away with the first draw.
Yeah,
the second half.
Caliandro coming up this way now. Get a shot inside.
I have a friend who I play soccer with whose last name is Putnam. So Putnam, mix it up a lot.
And Ava Angelo lighting up what might be her first goal tonight, or does she have two now?
I think that's her second now. I'm not surprised she's getting into this game. So CNS just has to fix things. You know, that was only a solid 26 seconds it took them to score there. So now it's 8-5. CNS needs to get their feet back under them. They might have come out comfortable. You know, they were dominating in that first half. So curious to see how they adjust because they definitely will need to. Can't be giving up a goal in 26 seconds.
I might have to correct you there. That is a hat trick for Ava Angelo in this game. That is her third goal, which makes it 57 goals on the season.
Well, that's a huge thing for Steelers. They've been shutting. I mean, she's got 3 goals, but FM's only got 5. That's a good thing for CNS. Is we've got Angelo and Molchanoff once again in there for the draw.
I just did the math quickly. Ava Angelo is averaging 5.2 goals per game. That's a crazy stat.
I could do better.
I highly disagree.
Put a girl's lax stick in my hand. I'm saucing out there.
Oh, when you're like 5'4", you'd get clamped up.
Sophia Neshi's dogging out there right now. So what are you talking about? Her and Putman.
Stick to unified basketball, Owen.
Hey, we don't talk about that game today.
I think we should do North Star Network versus CNS Girls Lacrosse. I don't know. I think the girls lacrosse team would decimate us, but I think it'd be fun.
I don't want that killer of my confidence.
We know you are an ego guy, Rob.
I'm-
Sam Klein would never let you hear the end of it either.
Hey, man, I wouldn't say I'm an ego guy. I'd say I'm more of a confidence guy, and that kill to my confidence would not be great.
You'd be okay.
I think we would end up with
you'll
a
be
couple
okay,
pulled
Winger.
muscles too.
Like my community reference there.
I do like your community reference. We do tend to use quite plenty on the broadcast.
Angelo bumped inside. Whistle's going to be blown as now Ava Angelo is going to have a shot from the 8, Rob. This can get dangerous.
Yeah, this is a very nice spot for her, especially since luckily on the outside she's going on her offhand, but I'm sure she can shoot one right into the back of
As
the
she
net.
gets right by her, flying off the crossbar as Caliandro's there to recover it. She has immaculate ways of tracking the ball and finding it.
Here comes the MVP from the South Jeff game. The goalpost. Beautiful job by the goalpost to block that one.
Johnny, I like the reference to the old broadcast. We did mention how great the goalpost was in that game because it made multiple saves. Right there, it saves the North Stars from FM scoring another goal.
Yeah, North Stars need to stop here, and they got to get that offense moving quickly. As Caliandro taking things slow. Gets it over to Leonard. Back onto Axis Steigerwald. She gets picked up by McGrath. Get it back to Caliandro. She's picked up by Lieberman. Screens at Lieberman, going to stick with her. She's going to fire, saved by Nicole Mira. And that was an impressive shot from Caliandro to even attempt that one from the 12.
Yeah,
You
that
don't
was
see many shots attempted from the 12, Rob.
a very brave shot, and that's one of those ones that we say in the soccer world is beans and potatoes for Nicole Mira. That's just an easy one for her to save.
Very true. As Mira Lieberman going coast to coast gets shot down by Addison Benz there. Now she'll get a little reset here. Mira Lieberman, not someone we see oftenly found on this side of the field.
Yeah, and you see her pass that one in and run right back.
On the roster, she's listed as an attack defender, but A/D, but she mainly plays that defense, but she is pretty locked down for CNS.
Yeah, she is mostly defense, as we see Sam Klein with it. Gabby Cicerelli steps on. She's been lights out from that left side of the crease tonight.
Brooke Molchanoff going against Kyle Leandro. Going to fire one off the ground and gets it. Brooke Molchanoff, is that a hat trick or is that her fourth goal of this?
That is her fourth goal of the season. She had a hat trick with 8:07 left to go in the first half. She is on fire this evening.
Yeah, and that's just a beautiful shot. You see Gabby Cicerelli and Sam Klein move off that wing area so she can just dive right down it. She fires one low to the bottom corner of Williamson's net, and there's really nothing she can do about that one. Brooke Molchanoff getting the scoring started in the second half for CNS, 9-5.
That was basically like, I'd call that a strike. She rolled that on the ground, knocked on all 10 pins, and got the goal in for CNS.
I don't think we've ever used a bowling reference, but I'm quite glad you did.
That basically was bowling, or like a putt. A putt.
A putt. Hey, our golf
and
game.
Speaking of putting, I beat you.
You did beat me. You beat me quite well, you know. Once again, you did play JV golf. I did not. I'm fully self-taught. You've had lessons, so.
I was waiting to hear those results. For the record, I picked Owen to win, so I guess I was right.
I won by 6 strokes.
Yeah, 6 strokes, you know, that's. It wasn't a good day out on the.
I mean, we both played terrible.
Yeah, we
I
both
just had the
played quite
luckier
bad.
6 strokes, I'd say.
Yeah, you know, I'm just not really a good golfer, man.
Hey, I'm starting to fix your swing, so that's always good. We're getting close.
That's true. Hey, maybe one day you'll
by
find
the end
me
of the summer.
Maybe one day you'll find me on the PGA Tour.
Like Tony Romo.
Hey, man. Imagine if Tim Tebow played golf. I'm sure he'd be.
Oh,
great
I'm
at
sure
that.
he'd be amazing. Back to the baseball broadcast. We're bringing up Tim Tebow.
Shout out to Tim Bednarski, our athletic director. He was actually talking about that with Drew Aaron and I at halftime. He was wondering who our celeb of the game would be, but Tim Tebow, the legacy lives on with the North Star Network.
And Nicole Mira, another great save.
It's always Tim Tebow. We are doing football. We could talk about the great wide receivers, defensive back of CNS, Tim Bednarski. Not just our athletic director, but the great player he was at football, playing at Mercyhurst also, but no. It's not football. It's lacrosse. It's always Tim Tebow time. As CNS.
That one's bobbled. CNS can come away with it. If they were able to get that ground ball, that looks like another fast break. Is Gabby Cicerelli with a nice play. She can run now. It's 1v1 going towards the goal. 10, bobbles it. Ball still loose.
They're going to fight for it.
Still loose.
Neshi comes
Caught by
away with
Neshi.
it. Looks like they might try and reset here. Prentice, who we've had pretty quiet tonight. We haven't said her name much at all.
Yeah, not a lot of Prentice being mentioned, but she is one of the lethal scorers for CNS, having 13 goals and 14 assists this season.
As I just got an update, boys lacrosse is up 13-5 heading into the fourth quarter against FM at FM. That's a huge win for the boys. You can't lie.
Yeah, that's a massive, massive score. They just have to hold it down for 12 minutes. It's thrown inside by Prentice to Molchanoff. Molchanoff misses, but it will stay CNS ball. All 3 CNS attackers right there working to keep that one going their way. Love to see the hard work from the girls as Molchanoff gives it to Neshi at the X. Neshi rolls, cuts inside. That one's bounced.
And that one,
like finds its way in.
You know, I'm going to bring up another sport here. It's sort of like cricket, how it bounces off the ground every time it makes contact. So, hey, bringing up all the sports in this broadcast. North Stars have doubled the Hornets score tonight.
Yeah, Neshi finding herself another goal. She has been extremely impressive. She gets her first varsity start tonight, and wow, has she proven why she deserved it.
You know, guys, I think we've mentioned a lot of sports. I'm going to make a cricket reference here, a sport that I still don't understand, but I know that the ball has to bounce before going for someone to hit it. they're playing like cricket here. They're just rifling these balls on the ground, these bounce shots that are going into the net as the North Stars take this 5-goal lead.
As Nessie's got to have at least 5 to 7 points in tonight's game. She's got 2 goals. She definitely has at least 3 assists, so that's 5.
And we see actually a goalie change. Hannah Williamson comes out. Talia Cavaline, I think that's Cavaline, comes in. She only has 13 saves on the season, whereas Williamson has 57. So not a goalie that FM has really played much, so I'm very curious to see how she does.
So maybe Leah Tuck is thinking that it's not really her defense's problem. Her defense is the problem. It might be the goalie's the problem. But in a sport like lacrosse, soccer, or even football with a quarterback, you never want to take that person that's the heart and soul of your team. Like we know, the goalie in soccer and lacrosse is that rock. They almost hold the whole team together. They blend. That's the glue guy. So if you change him out, that can be a confidence killer for Hannah Williamson the rest of her junior season.
And Ava Angelo won another draw there. So FM looking to close the score back in.
Caliandra looks like she fired there unsuccessful. Mira Lieberman's going to come away with that ground ball.
Mira Lieberman's been very impressive tonight. She gets a start on defense, and she's also shown why she deserved it.
She gets the laser pass there to Brooke Molchinoff. She's got some open green field. She should probably get this to Neshi. She's actually going to take things out and slow it down. North Stars do have the 10-5 lead with about 18 minutes left to go in this game. Pass to Prentice, a little high but caught. Prentice gets to move inside. She's going to fire a ground ball, and that's another goal from CNS. This is how CNS, how we were told they should have played in the first FM outing when they lost by 1. I heard they did not play well that game, showing why they gave up so much and lost, as now they are protecting that home field. Looks like the North Stars, Robert, last week we had a crappy week for CNS Athletics. This week, looks like we're having a good week.
Yeah, we're starting off on the right foot. And Mackenzie Prentice, we were just almost, I don't want to say criticizing her, but we definitely mentioned how she was being quiet tonight and not scoring often. But she gets a goal there and kicks things off.
As our AD, Mr. Bednarski, likes that I mentioned, we're having a good week for CNS Athletics after whatever you want to call last week. Last week was not good. I think the highlight of CNS was the talent show.
Yeah, and, you know, I think with weeks like that, you just got to take your losses and move on. And this could be a bounce-back week. Hey, maybe the North Stars go undefeated. Baseball started us off strong.
It already got ruined. Unified Basketball lost today. That's my fault.
Unified Basketball did take an L. Owen was not shooting well, didn't shoot at all.
I didn't shoot.
And
this wasn't my game.
CNS boys with a big lead over FM. CNS girls with a big lead over FM. CNS boys baseball beat Jenny 1-0.
As another save from Nicole Mira. She's on fire tonight. Sorry, getting a bit stuffy. It's allergy season, Rob. You know that.
It'll be a good week here on the North Star Network. We're starting it off with girls lacrosse here. Thursday, Drew Matiasik and I have unified basketball on the North Star Network, calling the legendary basketball player Owen O'Keefe. Friday, boys lacrosse against Liverpool right here on the North Star Network. And Saturday, yes, we have a Saturday afternoon girls lacrosse at 4 o'clock against Section 5's Irondequoit.
And that is senior day, senior afternoon, whatever you want to call it, for the girls. Senior Linner. It's around Linner time. So that's what the girls have on Saturday at 4 o'clock. And, Rob, softball lost today 9-0 to Liverpool.
Softball taking an L, but you know
They've
what?
been struggling
Softball,
this year.
They've been struggling, but they have had their games where they've done well. So I think that might be a team like the North Stars, how they started off, where, you know, they're struggling to get their feet under them. But I think with a roster like they have and a team that's been to states multiple times, won many sectional titles, I think they just need to get their feet under them, and then
they are very young, though, if I'm not mistaken. That North Star softball team is very young, very little upper class on that roster. So look for that North Star team in years to come. As Nicole Mira makes another save, that one's bounced back into outside the crease, but Gabby Putman's going to come away with that one.
Gabby Putman might be 2 players when she's out on the field. She is genuinely everywhere.
She's got the legs for it, like we've already talked about. She can just get somewhere and get around, almost like she's like a glass cleaner, basically.
And Molchinoff going, she gets her face mask checked off. I'm surprised there was no call on that one. Usually the face mask is a good way to tell when there's a foul. Right there, it's not called. Shea Firth works around the crease. She fires low, saved off the foot of Cavaline.
That's going to be her ball. CNS is going low a lot tonight. It's working. You can't lie. They're going low, and it's working.
A little stat update for everyone. So for the North Stars, scoring has come from just across the board. 4 from Molchanoff, 3 from Cicero-North, 2 from Neshi, 1 from Ionati, and 1 from Prentice.
Really sharing the wealth here today. Isn't that a thing in the game of life, the board game? Sharing the wealth? Yeah.
I believe it is.
Busting out all the references today.
I feel like that's a game we should play. I think I could beat you in the game of life.
I've never played the board game. I've only played the game on the phone. Can't lie.
Dude, it's a pretty fun game. Definitely a childhood game that, grew up on. You want to know a game that I think I'd destroy you at? Monopoly. I am a killer Monopoly player, let me tell you.
Robert, when do we ever have 3 hours of free time as Mackenzie Prentice adds another point for her in the score sheet? That's now 12-5 North Stars lead. Right, Robert, when do we have the time for Monopoly?
Hey, man, I don't know, but I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'll run you up in chutes and ladders.
And this is a weird thing that we also saw against South Jeff. The offense and the defense talking things over right next to each other as a timeout is called.
That's got to be FM, I'm assuming, calling
It is
one.
FM calling a timeout. They find themselves down 7, 15 minutes exactly left in the game. Very curious to see what they're going to talk over. I'd have to assume it has to go along the lines of scoring. Also, defensively, they've really struggled.
This is an overall struggle for the Hornets tonight. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're right. And they score 13 goals per game. They have 5. They give up 11. They've given up 11 goals per game. They've already given up 12 here tonight. This is very uncharacteristic of a team that comes in at 8-2 on the season. In their last game, they won 14-9 against JD. And JD is one of the best lacrosse schools out there. In their last matchup against CNS, they won 11-10. And their next game is on Thursday against Jenny, a team that they've lost to. So FM just needs to figure things out, really.
We've seen this FM team win some critical games. They've beaten JD, like you said. They also beat Shenandoah out by Albany 22-12. That was a stellar game.
I think Angelo had 10 goals in that game.
Yeah, she did.
Or something
she did.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
And Steigerwald had 10 assists. And then they go out a few games later and lose 18-2. So we've seen this FM team at both extremes.
The boys and lady North Stars lacrosse teams tonight were the exterminators in the Hornets series.
That was a good one, Owen.
I forgot the word. I had to Google it. I can't lie.
Oh, you Googled it? That was a good one, though. I liked that one.
I knew the word, but it's not Terminator. It was something like Terminator.
Exterminator.
See that? That's easy now.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
We're fully honest here on the North Star Network.
Hey,
Nothing but honesty.
We're an open book. You ask us a question, we tend to answer it.
Especially with the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah. 12-5 your score. 15 minutes left on the clock. I don't want to say this one's over, but
It ain't ogre till it's ogre.
it's going to take a lot from the Hornets to fight their way back into this one. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Owen just having to take a moment to recollect himself after that terrible Shrek reference. As we see Gabby Putman and Ava
Hey, you said it
Angelo
right.
for the draw. Hey, man, I try my best.
How do you say your last name, Rob?
Putman. I definitely got to take a second before I say the man. It's kind of funny because my last name ends in man.
Batman.
Batman. O'Keefe. Hi, Batman. Speaking of great duels tonight, Putman, Molchanoff, Angelo, they've been dueling on these draws all night, but it makes me think of a duel that took place earlier today that will air tomorrow morning.
On the CNS Morning Show.
On the CNS Morning Show. Make sure to check it out. Owen and I having a lightsaber duel for May the 4th, as that one's won by CNS, but it is bobbled, and FM comes away with it.
That one's come away with by Annie Leonard. Doty checks off. Nushi checks in. As I'm sure Prentice is very confident in her defense right now, as right there, interception by looks to be Putman, and it is. Gets over to Prentice, and here comes Neshi. She's way down there. Gets the Cicerelli. Now Molchanoff. Oh, this is dangerous. Molchanoff's going to actually take things back out. I think if she spun around left, got to move on Alexa Caron there. She could have gotten a goal. I think North Stars might just take things out here. They got just over 14 minutes to go. They're up by 7. There's not much need for scoring unless you want to have some impressive looks on Syracuse.com and then the CNS Athletics Twitter.
Shout out Mr. Bednarski. CNS Athletics Twitter always having updates on all the scores for all the games around CNS Athletics.
It's like only when they're home, though.
Well,
It's the ones he goes to.
yeah, it's the ones he goes to. But he is quick to get the tweets out.
He is quick with the tweets.
Prentice now works from the X. She rolls around the crease. To Neshi, this is dangerous. Neshi has been on fire.
As there she is, getting another point on the game tonight. Firing an assist to Shea Firth.
Yet another assist for Neshi.
And a beautiful finish from Schaefer, too. Just a catch and release right there. Gets it up top and fires it down low. Great shot from Shea Firth. 13-5 is your score. And the North Stars just look comfortable right now. And on defense, they've shut down FM. A lot of heads hanging for the Hornets. CNS, they've got their feet back under them. Back-to-back losses coming into this game, and another goalie switch as Williamson comes back in for Cavaline after Cavaline was really all but amazing, to be completely honest with you. But
Yeah.
Williamson hasn't been that, standout factor for the Hornets tonight either. Nicole Mirror, on the other hand, she has been a brick wall, shutting down a very, very strong offense of FM.
And Rob, I think someone that we have to shine some light on that's had an incredible second half for the North Stars is Mackenzie Prentice. 2 goals in the second half. But someone who's had a game is Sophia Neshi. She had 4 assists in the season coming into this game. I think she tied that with just 4 assists in this game tonight.
And
As
we
just saw the MVP again. I
that
beat you to it.
crossbar. Ava Angelo using her height to get another draw. Coliardo comes away with it, and she fires one off the crossbar. Nicole Mira, they always say a goalie's best friend is the post, but Nicole Mira really showing us why. 2 shots that just ring off that crossbar.
As we see with just under 13 minutes left, Malchinoff, Klein, and Cole all taking a breather, along with Doty. Seeing some new faces out there for CNS, like Ava Semino, Riley Kosick.
And that's the crazy thing about this team, because all those faces that are coming out, they really aren't new faces. They're players that find themselves in the starting lineup a lot and really do a great job for this CNS team. So it kind of shows just the depth they have on their bench, that they can sub so many people on and off and really give a lot of girls a lot of minutes.
Yeah, this North Stars roster runs deep as Gabby Cicerelli lights one in. That's now 14-5 CNS. They're running it up on the Hornets. Like I was saying, this CNS team runs deep. I don't think every girl on this roster, Prentice believes that she needs to put her on the field in any given moment. She can. She doesn't like having rosters for those, doesn't like having practice players. If you're on this varsity lacrosse roster with Stephanie Prentice, you're on there for a reason. You know you can go in whenever Prentice needs you.
And
she
let's
has faith in you.
Talk about Prentice's daughter, Mackenzie Prentice, throwing a beautiful pass to Gabby Cicerelli there. Cicerelli just reaches her stick out, catches it, and like we've said before, she can fire a ball. And she does right there. Almost puts a hole in the back of the net with that one.
And Cicerelli had 4 goals on the season coming into this game. Again, she had a lot of problems with her knee and her ACL. She got 4 goals in this game. She's now up to 8 on the season. She just tied her season points in goals.
Yeah,
in
we've
this
got
game.
4 from Cicerelli, 4 from Malchinoff. You've got 2 from Neshi. Who's got the other 4, if you want to tell me?
You have Firth with 1 and Prentice with 2.
And Ianati with 1, I believe.
Yes,
Ianati does
Ianati
have
with 1.
And North Star started this game off slow, but they've really taken control of it as Putman gets away with that one towards her side, beats Angelo in the foot race. And Rob, one thing we already said, but I'm going to say it again. I know some of these girls are not going to say they didn't have faith in Putman. But they were a little worried with her going against Ava Angelo in these draws, but she's done a phenomenal job tonight.
Quite frankly, Owen, I think the whole team was worried coming into this game. They're coming off 2 back. Ooh, that's a hard foul on Ella Pauline there. Hopefully she's okay. But this team, they're coming off back-to-back losses into a game against a team that, quite frankly, has been dominant this season. 8-2, FM is coming into the game, 3-1 in the Metro. They've really done well, and this CNS team, they've struggled. So coming out and having such a big performance, they didn't really expect it, but they've really showed who they are and why they are the reigning sectional champions.
Exactly. As they've got 11:30 left to go, Neshi has it on X. And this North Stars offense is not letting up whatsoever, and I love it. Run it up. John Calipari style.
Yeah, they don't need to let up. Why not run it up? You know, FM's not a school that they take
As
lightly
Prentice
to.
finds a hole there in the net. Another one. They're running it up. I think Prentice has 3 now. Am I wrong? Or
It's
is
a
that 2?
hat trick for Prentice
He's
in
got
the
3
second
hat
half.
tricks tonight. That's impressive from CNS.
Yeah, 3 hat tricks in one night. They're, like I said, why not run the score up? You know, put a score out there that says, hey, we're still here, because quite frankly, schools like Baldwinsville, West Jenny, they can look at the CNS team this year and think, yeah, their season's done. 5-5, they got nothing left in the tank. But right now, they're showing why they're CNS, because on any given night, they can come out and they can beat a team.
Yeah, this game's going to put CNS, I'm not going to say it, well, they're up 10, so I'm going to say it. They're going to put them above 500 on the year. The biggest thing about this game, it is a confidence booster for this girls' lacrosse team, something they desperately needed.
And, Owen, let's keep in mind that CNS went into sectionals as a 3 seed last year, and then they came out on top and won the whole thing. So they're not a team that, even though they might not go in as a 1 seed, they're still a threat. They can win games when they need to.
Yeah, they've got a big week this week against Liverpool as well on Thursday. A game where, if it's a little later game, I might go and attend after the unified basketball game here at home at CNS at 4:30. Be sure to attend.
Yeah, and I'll gladly join you. I honestly, Owen, I'd say that Liverpool game is a must-win for both teams, because that will really place the seeding for the sectional tournament.
Yeah, I think if CNS gets a win there, that's going to put them – that should put them right at 2, so they won't have to seed Beeville until the sectional final, as FM and Jenny are both Class B this season for playoffs.
That is 7 straight goals for the North Stars. North Stars have scored 7 goals this half, while FM has only scored 1. They have come out streaking hot this game. Hopefully they can carry this momentum through the rest of the season, especially next game against Liverpool.
As that bounce shot a little wide, but CNS is going to stick there. Like we saw in the start of the first half and start of the second half as well, North Stars started off slow. The Hornets scoring the first goals of both halves. But CNS has just ran with it after that like they did in the first. Now they're doing it in the second, which maybe they're saving their energy for the end game, but you don't want to not use a ton in the first, so you got to start off strong.
Yeah, and now Riley Kosick getting an 8-meter on her strong hand. We could see her get a goal tonight.
Kosick fires one. That's a bounce right by the ankles for North Stars again. They're just running and they're running it up. Is there a Meister go in high school for any sport?
I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure that if there's 2 minutes left on the clock, though, and they're up by, I believe, 5, the clock just stays running. So I'm sure we will see that in effect. As the clock actually is running right now, I will get a confirmation from our PA announcer, Daryl White.
As now Nicole O'Neill stepping in goal for CNS. As we just heard confirmation, once a team is up 10, clock will not stop. I think it's in any half. As long as you are up 10, the clock will not stop.
I do believe that's true. So we're going to see this 8 minutes fly by here, because quite frankly, with 11 goals in the lead in favor of CNS, FM has a lot of work to do in 8 minutes that, quite frankly, I don't think is possible.
No. Especially the way girls lacrosse runs, like we saw with the South Jeff game. CNS can just run around and just do those like short passes and keep possession for an entire long time, so there's not much they need to do.
Yeah, and FM, Ava Angelo, able to come away with a draw. I do believe that puts her over 100 draw controls on the season. Which,
I'd assume so.
Yeah, that's a crazy number just in general. I mentioned it before the game.
Now here's Steigerwald, maybe trying to work some actual goal scoring here instead of feeding, but she's going to feed there to Coliandro, takes it back out. She's getting locked up by Sammy Buckets. Coliandro fires. That one's off the net, it looked like, of Nicole O'Neill back into the stick.
Oh, and I think we need to take a
Gabby
second
Putman.
just to give a shout-out to Victoria Iannotti, Molly McGrath, Sam Klein, Mira Lieberman, Ava Semino, all of them who've played a lot of defense tonight, and they have been stunning. They have shut down everything FM has offered, and really, they might not get the offensive glory that they'd like, but it doesn't really matter when you're winning a game 16-5. Also a massive shout-out to Nicole Mira and net, who is having a really great game.
Yeah, the entire North Stars defense is probably the MVP of this game, holding this red-hot Hornets team to just 5 goals through 6 with 6:50 left to go. That's bounce pass is fumbled. Looks like it might be recovered here. There's still a fight for it. They're yelling ground ball. Come on, let's see who's going to come away with it.
This is an amazing game for the North Stars. Again, like I said, FM is second in the SCAC Metro. The North Stars are 1-3. They're fourth in the SCAC Metro. They're almost last, but they're beating FM 16-5 right now. They're running the clock on FM. This is a statement win for the North Stars.
And Riley Kosick doesn't elect to shoot that 8-meter. She actually kicks it to Courtney Jakowski. Now it will be Prentice working with it at the X.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Courtney Jaworski can do at the varsity level. She's a name when we come before varsity games last year during the JV games, where that JV team last year just rammed the score up no matter who they were playing. And that was a name we heard a lot during the JV game. So interested to see what she can do at the varsity level with just these 5 or so minutes left to go in this game. Feed to Sammy Bucket. She fires that to Sam Klein goal, Rob. We just fist bumped. Happy to see that one for Sam Klein. That's 17-5 now CNS.
17-5 CNS. I honestly don't think they're going to stop scoring tonight. 5:30 left on the clock. Like we said, the clock will keep running. And quite frankly, that's the best thing for FM because it's a bloodbath out there right now, Owen.
Yeah, Robert, I'm looking at Syracuse.com right now. The lowest FM's been held to is 2, but that's against Pittsford-Mendon, a very strong team. I think, yeah, like I've said that the Metro is the best league in New York other than Long Island for the girls lacrosse. I forgot about Rochester. Rochester lacrosse is scary as well. Rochester, Central New York, Syracuse area, and then Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
That's
Long
the
Island.
three.
Whew.
Those are the 3 hot spots for girls lacrosse in New York and probably the entire Northeast, I'd say.
I was about to say, I wouldn't even say just New York. I'd say almost the entire Northeast. Maryland also one of those states that's just very well known for lacrosse.
Yeah,
but
Maryland, Virginia, D.C., that whole little area, that whole little pocket.
yeah, all built off lacrosse and just other stick sports like that.
Baseball's huge in that area, too.
Yup. As FM comes away with another draw, and quite frankly, they haven't done poorly on the draws, but where they have been poor is offensively.
Whistle blown on Sam Klein here, so they're going to get a reset here from X. Yeah, FM's been their lowest scoring game besides that is 10 and 11 when they played against West Genesee and CNS, so they don't really get held down a lot. But that's impressive that CNS held FM to 5. It's only 3 goals more than what Pittsford-Mendon held them to.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Pittsford-Mendon, that team that beat Baldwinsville, who, quite frankly, is one of the best teams in the state.
I'd have to think so. I think they're class B in basketball, so I don't know what they would be in lacrosse. As lacrosse classes are all out of sort, but I'd assume they're class B or C for lacrosse as well. So if it comes state times, FM or West Genesee could potentially see them again.
Yeah, and
which I assume why head coach Leah Tuck scheduled that game, or head athletic director Mr. Ray, at FM scheduled that game.
And FM finally able to score again, but it does come too late as 17-6 is your score, and really that just, puts a plug in the wound for a little bit, but that clock's going to keep running, and quite frankly, I don't think CNS cares about that goal at all.
No, I mean, Prentice will say something to her players like, hey, we know the game's obviously over, but you still don't want to let up on it. So I think she might make a comment about it, but it's nothing too crazy, as CNS is just going to slowly let this game go out. They're under 3 minutes now with that running clock, like we already mentioned. But they're still leaving Putman and Angela out there for both sides, which is something we like to see. Keep letting Putman get that practice in against a D1 home. I'm assuming she's got to be a Fogo for St. John Hopkins, along with being in attack.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be not only a Fogo, but also an attack, like you said, because when you put up 54 goals in 10 games, and she's also got 3 here tonight, those are numbers that you need on your attack.
One thing I really do enjoy about girls high school lacrosse, as in boys, you really do see the Fogo position really be vital in boys lacrosse. Like, you see a guy go on there, take the face off, and just get right off and have an actual midfielder go on there. But in girls, at least in the high school level, it's just one of your ordinary midfielders or attacks just taking the face off, or the draw, I should say. But once you hit that college level, it's mainly just straight Fogos.
Yeah, and we know that there are guys who get full rides to schools for lacrosse, and they never actually play a second of lacrosse. They just do a face-off, and they get right off the field. As Nicole O'Neill actually subbed in, and she made an amazing save there.
Robert, you weren't listening. I already said that.
My fault. Sometimes I tune you out because, quite frankly...
Oh, I tune you out too. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you can be a goofball sometimes.
I'm the goofball. Okay.
I won't lie. I got to give a big shout-out to Owen just muted me, ladies and gentlemen,
It's a
if you're
fun
curious why
broadcast.
I got cut off. I got to give a big shout out to Don Bateman. Picked up some Tully's tenders for me when I get home.
That's clutch.
That is
Robert,
very
if you go to
clutch.
Liverpool game Thursday, you want to know what's out in Liverpool?
Tully's.
Five Guys.
Oh, Five Guys. Oh, you want to go to Five Guys?
Yes.
I'm totally down for some burgers and fries. And a milkshake. They got some pretty good milkshakes there.
I do get paid on Thursdays, too, so that's clutch.
Nice. Shout out Chick-fil-A.
Shout out Chick-fil-A. Robert, I think we should rewatch this broadcast to see how many different things we mentioned that wasn't CNS or FM girls lacrosse.
You know, I think we do it a lot in games, and quite frankly, I think it's why we get so many compliments because, you know, we keep things real here at the North
We
Star
have fun
Network.
with it.
I'll already say I rewatched the CNS FM game,
The boys game,
the CNS FM boys baseball game.
there was
That top of the 6th inning when FM was just scoring runs, we went from Billy Crystal to Tim Tebow. We went everywhere. And by the way, Owen, you have a beautiful Mike Wazowski impression, I heard.
who said that?
Roz, I'm sorry. How could I forget?
Where'd you hear that from, Johnny? Keep your mic on. Robert, you got lacrosse. I'm chatting with Johnny.
Okay, and we see Gabby Putman swing it over to Riley Kosick. It looks like CNS might just play some keep away for this last 10 seconds.
No, make it 18-6. Triple the Hornets score. No mercy. Riley, shoot it. Riley, shoot it. As that one's bonked out, Ava Angelo's going to get one up. That ball's past Steigerwald. The horn's going to sound. And your final here from Michael J. Bragman Stadium. North Star 17, Hornets 6. What an outing from CNS. There's not much you can say about this game that we haven't already said. And that fourth quarter. Anything, Rob?
I would just like to say I made my dad's night with the shout out. He did just text me. But, yeah, you're right. I feel like there's not a lot that we can talk about there because, quite frankly, it was a blowout. 17-6 isn't a score you see often. And, quite frankly, coming into this game, we didn't think CNS would do very well at all, let alone win by
proved us
11.
wrong.
So, yeah, I have nothing to say, and I'm ready to send it home.
Anything, Johnny or Drew, you guys want to add?
Yeah, so I wrote down, I was taking some stats tonight. The final stat line for the CNS Northside. This is the most, I guess, scoring team or scoring game in which one person did not score all the goals. Kosick with 1, Prentice with 3, Ionati with 1, Neshi with 2, Firth with 1, Molchanoff with 4, Cicerelli with 4, and Klein with 1. So we put together, me and Johnny helped out, the 3 stars of the game. For number 1, I have Brooke Molchanoff with 4 goals on this game. With number 2 star, Gabby Cicerelli with 4 goals, matching her season stat line for 4 goals in this game alone. And the 3rd star, Sophia Neshi. She was on fire with 2 goals and I believe 4 or 5 assists in this game. That's an amazing stat line in this game, especially for a freshman. This is looking like a really good team coming here and a really young team for this bright future.
I just give a quick shout out to the booth over to our left. Both of our PAs tonight, Daryl White and Mike McGrath, doing a huge job on our scoreboard. Mr. Campbell running that. Facility manager Joe Hauer, athletic director Tim Bednarski. To my right, Drew Madiaskic, Johnny Lisi, Aaron Tarquinio. To my left, Bobby B. Bateman. My name is Owen O'Keefe from the North Star Network. Have a great night, everybody.